AskReddit by Heavy Flute 4. Redditors who have tried to hide on your cruise when it ended so that you could stay on the ship for the next round. How did that go? I worked for Carnival. We will find you. We know you're in the ship. And we all want you to get off so I can take a short nap before I have to do it all over again in a few hours. Amen to this. I worked for a small cruise ship company, less than 100 packs, and I would die a little inside every time people weren't packed the morning of departure and would slow everything down. Did they somehow forget that they needed to get off the boat that morning? Do those big ships do same day turns, i.e. debarkation and embarkation the same day? My company did that and apparently it's not the norm, at least in small cruise ships. Most of the other companies seem to have at least 24 hours between trips. I know you're planning something up. I can neither confirm nor deny these allegations. I don't know if this counts, but on the last night of a cruise my friends and I got really drunk. Well, I don't know how the hell, but I ended up somewhere passengers shouldn't be, in a goddamn supply closet I believe. The ship had docked and there was a 2-hour search for me. Still drunk, I couldn't find a way to get out of the room where the supply closet was, but the door was locked. The crew thought I was trying to sneak another ride, but after reviewing the cameras they clearly could tell I was nowhere near sober. So they let me go on my way with a good laugh. To this day I still don't remember making my way down there. That's kind of adorable somehow. I can imagine them all bring up the security footage like, what a jerk, we'll see how sneakily he planned this. Oh, well, oh wow, he's very drunk and very confused, isn't he? Edit, autocorrect. Not me, but a couple decided to hide to try get another week out of their holiday. This was while we were halfway through our holiday, so we heard it all. Dozens of announcements calling for them or anyone who's seen them were made throughout the day. Their rooms were searched and everything they owned in that room was seized, apparently. The ship left port late by about 90 minutes, but they were eventually found and escorted off the ship when the crew decided to check the identity of every passenger on board. All of their stuff was left in their room? How did they think they would get away with it? Wow, I can actually kinda answer that. Okay, so it was not a cruise but a ferry. Also, we didn't hide on purpose. It was the ferry from Souris, Prince Edward Island to the Isles de la Madeleine, Quebec, Canada. A 12 hours ride. We embarked at 2 AM and found a very quiet spot to sleep. We slept through the landing and no one woke us up because no one actually saw us. When we woke up we saw the islands going away from us. Result, we spent 36 hours on that boat. Sorry for my bad English. How long did it take for you to correct that? Did you have to go to the next stop, wait for a boat going back? That's like missing your turn off a highway but the next turnaround isn't for 10+ miles. Haha, I'd be so sad. BC, I'm sure it took forever to get where you were actually going. You may enjoy listen to the Stowaway, https://thisiscriminal.com/episode-118-stowaway-7-5-2019 close bracket double quote episode of the podcast Criminal. It's not someone who just didn't leave, but someone who plotted to go on a cruise without paying. It's a good listen. That was a good episode. I don't think it would work today though. And it sounded like she really didn't have a good time on the boat anyway, with no place to sleep and nothing but buffet snacks, not to mention constantly being worried about being found out. It is all electronic card swipe now, everyone monitored all the time. All of the japes and scrapes of being a stowaway, one step ahead of the steward is in the past now. Sounds like it would be easier to just get a job there. Used to be in the USCG, we had this happen a few times in Miami. They were all escorted off the ship. Typically the police handled the situation, but if a stowaway was discovered while still in the 3-12 mile range, we would render assistance once they were apprehended by the on-board law enforcement. The problem here is that you only know about the unsuccessful stowaways, not the ones that manage to pull it off. Also, is keel hauling still an acceptable punishment for stowing away? I don't know if this counts, but my dad got locked in a toilet cubicle on a ferry to France and it took several people to find him. The toilet was right out of the way and you couldn't hear him yelling even right outside in the corridor because the doors were so massive. I guess he could have gone immediately back to England. Could have become a ship toilet hermit. Deleted. As someone about to embark on a cruise, this thread could hold vital information. Have fun on your cruise. I met my wife on one 7 years ago. And are you a penguin? Been doing this for a couple of years now. They slapped a name tag on me and now I work here. Hope they also took your bank account and post a monthly salary in there. I am a stand-up comic who works on cruise ships 3-4 months out of the year. Guests who take forever to leave suck. Employees of the ship can't leave until every last guest has exited the vessel. So if a guest is taking their time to leave or hiding, they are potentially keeping over 100 employees from going home. And many of the employees are on the ship for like 8 months, so every second counts when they just want to get off and start heading home. Get the fuck off the boat. I think they might catch you when they do the lifeboat drill at the beginning. Then why go to the lifeboat drill? Ships tend to have really good tracking of their packs. There's security cameras everywhere and when you disembark they give the ship a really good walkthrough. All the passenger areas are easy to see through and have no hiding places, and if the packs were to be in a crew area, it happened every now and then, we would notice immediately. I've never had passengers try to stow away, but I've definitely seen crew run away from the ship. Mostly happens in American ports. Personally, when I was working on ships I couldn't wait to get the fuck off them every time I saw land. Why people cruise to begin with is beyond my comprehension. Deleted. A little different. I was going through a really hard bout with depression in 2012 and really had nothing going on in life besides an overnight job at a gym. My parents decided to do a family cruise in March as our Christmas present. I was actually planning on saying goodbye to my family at the end of the trip and just getting off at the last island and not getting back on. Then I found out the cruise company would alert local authorities that I didn't get back on. I wanted to just island skip for a while instead of backpacking through Europe to do some thinking and adventuring. I didn't want to end up in some shitty Caribbean jail. It is right, they don't just leave without passengers as they could be lost and stuck. What happens if they find you and you don't want to get back on board? I have no idea, but can't think what you would go to jail for. You'd be all on your own though if you couldn't get home. Very specific target audience. I feel like OP is going on a cruise soon and has no plans for the weeks afterwards. Deleted. My friend did this. He can't handle his drink and we were on a mini cruises from Newcastle to Amsterdam. After a good few drinks he loses it, rips a table from the wall and throws it away, took his top off as well as another friend's top and threw them overboard shouting "Wee I." He was quickly sent to the brig and had his passport confiscated, meaning he couldn't get back on the boat after our day in Amsterdam. So he tried to hide under the bed. According to his story he couldn't fit so his feet were sticking out a bit and said he got caught straight away. They threw him off and we never seen him that day. Imaginably when we got back on the boat to no friend under the bed we were concerned. We chose his closest friend to call his dad to say we have lost your son Lomeo and his answer was oh I know. We booked him a flight. Turns out he ventured off the boat in a panic. Somehow managed to find a British embassy and explained his situation, not sure how but they organized him to fly home without a passport. Every time I see him I ask him to tell me the story again for a laugh. Wait, the boat staff confiscated his passport and threw him off the boat? An ex of mine was a on-boat cruise photographer. I remember asking her something similar before, and she told me they swipe on and swipe off everyone, on every stop, at every time. She did say that she'd known people to try and stow away, but basically it turns into a massive fucking Easter egg hunt to find the person. The liner she was on always awarded the staff member that found the person with some sort of bonus, but she never told me what it was. I remember her saying that someone caused a ship to be something like 6 hours late to leave because they'd done such a good job at hiding. Eventually they were found or gave themselves up and were arrested by port authorities. Every cruise ship has an employee section that includes a club bar areas. I once got access after hitting on a bartender. Beers were $1 and everyone was wasted. That's an area I would look into. You'll never find it on your own. Def need an employee to show you how to get in. Dude, this should be any or all of them. 1. A life pro tip. 2. Life hack. 3. How to vacation frugally. Seriously. While I won't rule it out as an impossibility nowadays, it would be extremely difficult. First, you're scanned on and off the ship, so they'd know you never got off. So now you're hiding on the ship. WTF are you going to do? You won't be able to get into or back into your room. You won't be able to eat or drink on some of the cruises since you'll need a valid keycard or wristband. You'll be carrying all your stuff around, since you'll have nowhere to store it. You might make it to the first port without being caught, but then you'd probably want off, and when you get scanned off you're busted. I'd say it's 99.9% likely you spend your stowaway cruise in the ship's jail cell until you get back to home port. I was on a ship traveling from Portugal to China. We took a wrong turn somewhere, landed on a remote island, and now the captain's enslaving all the locals. Day 247. They still don't realize. I have been living off of seawater and Ritz crackers for the past month. I can't let them see me in the cafeteria. People tell me all the time, dude, just leave the boat, but none of them understand. Using the quarters I find on the ground, I was finally able to pay my cell phone bill again today. I got a text from some guy named Boss, dumb name, telling me that he's gonna put me in a thing of fire. Whatever, probably insane. I got a scam text from some guy named Jane calling me husband, and from police. Regardless, I'm probably gonna fry up the phone battery for more fire today. I sometimes wonder what life is like outside of the ship, but quickly dismiss those thoughts after I realize that there is no such thing as living outside of the ship. Around day 50 or 60, people in blue coats began to harass me, saying that I must go or they. With a combo like seawater and Ritz crackers you'd be dead within a day, lol. Semi-off topics are for Canadians. Unless you purchase the ship's Wi-Fi package, do not use your cell phone on a ship. It's $4 per minute talk time, 75 cents for a sent message, 25 cents for a received message, and $15 MB for data. It's called premium maritime pay-per-use rates and is billed to your carrier by the ship's cruise line. On the ship, the closed cell tower is the ship's mast. I work in the industry and I have seen people's cell phone bill cost more than their cruise. Boarded for a trip from Southampton to Queenstown. Stayed on to get to New York. All was good until we hit a damn iceberg. Been 107 years and still haven't docked. Fucking sucks, man. At least the water is heating up finally though. Deleted. Wouldn't happen. You have to check out with your cruise card died. If you aren't checked out, they'll announce on the intercom to check out, whilst sending out teams to look for you. After 20 minutes, they will announce again, upping the ante, saying you are in violation of maritime law. Once they find you, you're never going on a cruise again and will face a hefty fine. Source: friend worked for cruise lines for 4 years. Serious tag. Hey, it doesn't work like that. The correct format is serious.